Broadcasts of HIKI No are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI No. Kamehameha Schools, empowering Hawaiian keiki to explore, discover, and inspire. ABC Stores, a local company helping to transform education and develop Hawaii's workforce through bold learning initiatives like HIKI No.
Next on HIKI No, stories from across our island chain.
I use the donut kind of as a platform or a canvas to express my art.
Meet a Maui entrepreneur who elevates the creation of donuts into a fine art.
Get to know students in an automotive class who trade in oil-stained overalls for high-tech innovations.
Find out how a Kumu hula on Maui perpetuates her family's highly regarded hula legacy.
Learn how to turn a fish into a work of art.
Meet a young woman who finds personal satisfaction in teaching younger children the ways of the ocean.
Learn how a 6th grader designed a system that rewards students for doing community service.
Get to know a husband and wife who teach foster parents and who practice what they teach.
Stay tuned for these stories and find out why students who created them felt compelled to explore these particular topics.
All on this episode of HIKI No.
Can do.
We're here on campus of HP Baldwin High School in the island of Maui. The following story is about a colorful person named Madam Donut and her journey into creating her company, Donut Dynamite. We wanted to highlight the life of a hard-working and passionate artisan who expresses her art through her one-of-a-kind donuts. Here is our story of Madam Donut.
It feels like I'm playing. I mean, I'm working a lot, but it's also play. And to be able to do that, it's a gift.
Located in Wailuku, Maui is Donut Dynamite, whose owner legally changed her name to Madam Donut. She grew up in the Philippines, where she learned about hard work.
It's a very remote little village. We actually didn't even have electricity until I was about 9 years old. So I remember living in the dark and having oil lamps and such. Many years later, I went to culinary school, and one of my pastry chef instructors was the original pastry chef for the French Laundry, which is a very high-end, very well-respected restaurant. And they had donuts on the menu. And to me, if a high-end fine dining restaurant can serve donuts on their menu, there's no reason why I can't make donuts as well.
Madam Donut uses donuts as a canvas to tell her story.
Basically, it's my story. I use the donut kind of as a platform or a canvas to express my art and my life story in a way. It sounds trite and corny to say it's made with love, but it is. It's made with that intention to make the world a happier place. I want it to be that person.
While Madam Donut enjoys creating donuts, she has trouble finding balance in her life and building her business.
We're busier. Now we need help. My partner's my husband, and we do most everything ourselves. What's really difficult is it's an artisan product, and it's really difficult to transfer that vision. So for me to have somebody retell that story by them making it, sometimes something gets lost in translation. Scaling up in my business is really challenging right now, because that means the busier we are, the more work I have to do, the less sleep I get, the less balance I have in my life.
Madam Donut finds motivation through her customers and the ability to express her art.
I'm very grateful that I have the space to be able to express myself through a donut. It seems so silly almost. If I'm gonna lack sleep, it better mean something to me, and it does. So I keep going. It's inspiring to me to be able to do it. And people who come in here and say they don't even like donuts, but they love what I make, then how can you not be motivated? It's awesome life, I think.
This is Brianna Kinar from HP Baldwin High School for HIKI No.
HIKI no is on Instagram. For show updates and a peek behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram at HIKI no Can Do.
We're here on Kauai's east side on the campus of Kapaa High School. We decided to explore our automotive technology program and how it's evolving alongside new industry advancements. We felt that the course teaches important skills for both future job opportunities and real-life experiences. Here's our story, Automotive Technology.
I got tired of people calling me a mechanic. We're not mechanics anymore. We're actually technicians.
An automotive technician at heart, Mr. Ryan Terrell shows us his perspective on the impact this industry has had on his life.
I had cousins who used to drag race, take me to the drag strip. So it motivated me to want to understand how a car functions. So they were influential in steering me towards the automotive industry.
Sweaty, greasy hands and oil on boots are the remains of an industry that's becoming outdated. It is now a more rigorous career pathway involving computer components such as microchips and sensors.
Talking about autonomous vehicles now, hydrogen fuel cell. So we need, to me, in my opinion, the top tier students who are very academically strong to look at this field, because it's changing from being a field where you're going to get greasy and dirty to a field that's going to be a little bit cleaner, but you have to be very good with your electronics, physics, science.
The evolving automotive industry provides continued challenge even for the most experienced of technicians.
Technology moves every year, the car changes. So as the years move on, they're trying to make the cars better, more engineering goes into the design, safety items start to change. Again, we rely on engineers to make the changes so that we can keep people safe in the car.
If you guess on what you're doing, then you're not gonna get it right, but you're gonna get it wrong, and it might affect someone's life.
Passing on his knowledge, Mr. Terrell hopes more people realize these hands-on classes produce employable and dependable engineers and technicians.
My basic goal was not just to produce automotive technicians in this program, but actually to produce engineers. That's what I really wanted.
The automotive program has enhanced my understanding of general physics. Now that I understand how an internal combustion engine works, I can apply that to my understanding of how other vehicles like spacecraft, watercraft, aircraft, etc. works.
I hope automotive programs never die at a high school. The issue I see right now is we don't have enough automotive teachers to the state of Hawaii to keep automotive programs at every high school. I really believe automotive programs will give students opportunities to look at science and bring their language arts or vocabulary-based skills to a different level.
Dedicated to the enrichment of students' lives, Mr. Terrell upholds the value of creating community contributors that are able to be competitive in the ever-evolving automotive and engineering industry. This is Preston Hayden from Kapaa High School for HIKI no.
We are here at Kalama Intermediate School on the slopes of Haleakala in upcountry Maui. We decided to tell the following story of Kumu Hula Sissy Lake Farm, who's continuing a legacy of hula that brought together two prominent hula families. It is through commitment, hard work, and creativity of Kumu Hula, like Kumu Sissy, that our treasured Hawaiian traditions continue and evolve. Here's our story, Kumu Sissy Lake Farm, continuing the legacy.
Hula to me is part of life. It's the art of being able to see, to smell, to touch, to feel.
Kumu Sissy was influenced by her family to continue the legacy of hula. Kumu Sissy started dancing hula when she was a young girl.
Because my dad was a Kumu Hula, it was just a part of who we were. Our family was very involved with all the things that my dad did, and being a hula dancer was just who I was. Our family was committed to it, and I continued to do it today. I'm very humbled and proud to say that I come from a very rich tradition of Kumu Hula.
Maikiaʻiʻu Lake was one of the passionate and widely recognized Kumu hula back in the 20th century and helped pass the tradition down to her student Kumu Sissy.
Maikiaʻiʻu Lake was, in her time, very well renowned. She was able to create many Kumu hula, and till today we have shining examples of them in our community. People like Robert Casamero, Auntie Lena Alahaini, Mohala Ilima, Mapuana de Silva.
Kumu Sissy is now the Kumu hula for Naha Nona Kulike o Pi'ilani with her brother Kapono Ai Molitau.
Being a student in hula and being a Kumu hula or an instructor is very different. As a student, you do it just because you love it. You have someone that you watch and you learn from, and you do it the best that you know how. But as a teacher, the roles change because you're not only doing it because you love it, but you're transported into a very different place. It's this sense of kuleana for me, and kuleana translates as responsibility. There's this sense of willingness to be able to take the practices of what I've learned and passing it on.
An important part of what she learned from her father was the importance of teaching the traditional protocols.
You have to be in tune with your partner this way and in tune with your partners front and back.
You're now responsible not only for yourself, but a whole bunch of other people. And you want to make sure that whatever traditions you learn from your kumu, that you're passing it down correctly.
But hula is a living art, so while passing the tradition down in its ancient form, she is also responsible for creating for her generation.
I think the biggest challenge for me is keeping what I have to share fresh and new and exciting for my students.
Hula has definitely helped me define my personality, define my love and passion, and it's something that I love, and I'm very fortunate to be able to do and practice the things that I love, and hula is one of them.
This is Puameiti Farm from Kalama Intermediate School for HIKI no.
Up next, students from Punahou School will show you how to turn a dead fish into a lively work of art.
Before photography, Japanese fishermen used a fish printing technique called Gyotaku to record their trophy catches. Over the years, Gyotaku has evolved into more of an art form. To create a Gyotaku print, you will need a fish. In addition, you will also need watercolor paper or rice paper, calligraphy ink, acrylic paint, oil pastels or colored pencils, poster board and pins, newspaper, and soap and water. Make sure that you are dressed properly. This means wearing clothes that you are willing to get dirty. To begin, take a picture of your fish. This will be a reference for later when coloring in the print. Next, wash your fish multiple times with soap and water in order to remove the slime. Take care to not remove the scales. Thoroughly dry your fish with paper towels. Now, pin your fish to a poster board to fan out the fins. Then, lightly coat the surface of your fish in calligraphy ink. Take the rice paper and place it over your fish. Rub the fish carefully, making sure to not move the paper or press too heavily, as that might smear your print. Then, gently peel the paper off and place it on a flat surface. Patiently wait for the paper to dry. Finally, use crayons, oil pastels, or acrylic paint to add in finishing details, paying especially close attention to the prized eye of the fish. This is where your photo from before comes in handy. The work you have created blends nature's beauty with your own personal style. This is Anela Ramos from Punahou School for HIKI no.
Aloha! We're here on the campus of Kalani High School in East Honolulu on Oahu. We decided to tell the story of a former Kalani High student who worked hard balancing her schoolwork and her passion for the ocean, and how she is now on the path to fulfill her dreams. Here is our story, Ka'ua.
Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3, push. Smart.
Nakamakai, was created to provide access to the ocean for children. And we use that access to empower the youth to therefore become connected with the ocean, and which will then create that relationship with them and the ocean so that they then love the ocean and want to protect the ocean. And the ultimate result is that they know how to take care of themselves better as well.
Ka'ua Zabala Moore is a senior at Kalani High School. Through Nakamakai, she has developed knowledge and interest in the ocean, which inspires her as she thinks about her future plans.
When I first went to Nakamakai, I went just as an excuse to go to the beach, but then I ended up learning different things about the ocean or getting to do stand-up paddleboard and canoeing. They introduced me to like the star compass. Nakamakai has definitely made me more outgoing and vocal.
First of all, Ka'ua is a shy young lady, and she's really become a lot more vocal and a lot more action-oriented, initiating her own intentions, not having to be told what to do.
When I first joined in middle school, out stuff where I was just more on the sidelines, and I didn't take anybody out on like stand-up paddleboard or anything like that, and I just stayed on land.
She's able to come to Nakamakai and teach stations that normally adults are teaching. So she's able to interact with the children, teach them about ocean safety, teach them about hokulea, and when needed as well, she's able to work with children and go in the ocean and show them the skills that she's been learning. So she's really come a long way from having a certain amount of knowledge about the ocean and then now having grown that knowledge tremendously.
Nakamakai has definitely helped me grow as a person and help me overcome being more social now. I think Nakamakai has definitely helped influence me because I think all the things they do there is really great and protecting the ocean is very important.
This is JC Takara from Kalani High School for HIKI No.
And now, to learn more about the Ocean Activities program featured in the story you just saw, here's a piece from the HIKI No archive by Halau Kumano School on Oahu.
Nakamakai means the children of the sea. Nakamakai is also a local non-profit organization founded by professional surfer and longtime Makaha resident Dwayne DeSoto.
Nakamakai is a non-profit that my wife and I founded with some friends to bring ocean education to the keiki around Hawaii.
Nakamakai runs ocean clinics around the island of Oahu every second Sunday of the month. Parents sign up keiki for 2 hours of activities related to the ocean. Volunteers sign up to help keiki become comfortable with being in the ocean. During the ocean clinic, keiki rotate through 5 different stations: shaping Hawaiian wooden surfboards, stand-up paddleboarding, learning about ocean safety signs with the lifeguard, taking a ride on a canoe, and learning about the Northwest Hawaiian Islands and bigger environmental issues.
So, you know, they're gonna come in and do the wooden surfboards as a great cultural connection back to the fact that Hawaiians started surfing, and these are the boards that were used in the beginning of surfing. The Va'a section has a couple different dynamics. One is that we take them out to sea and we start talking about the mountain to the sea connection. So when we turn the boat around, we have them look at the valleys and the rivers that lead down to the water. And we put that connection that all the rubbish on the land is going to end up in the water via these rivers. I mean, I can see the children, they're smiling and they're having fun. You just know that they seem like they had a great time. But many of the parents send back emails or letters stating how interesting a 2-hour event with the keiki has actually had a tremendous impact on them when they're walking around later on in the week or in a month when they're picking up rubbish or conscious of things that the parents notice they learned in the ocean. The keiki are actually learning something, but they don't realize they're learning something. They're just having fun in the water, and we're infusing the knowledge as they're doing the different stations. So I think that the learning is even better. It's hands-on.
To get more information about Nakamakai, including how parents can sign up their keiki or how to become a volunteer with Nakamakai, visit the website at nakamakai.org. Reporting for HIKI No, this is Pofuti Satawa.
Next, find out how a 6th grader devised a way to reward students for their community service. In this story from Iao School in Wailuku, Maui.
So, my advice for children is that if you have a good idea, you should ask for help.
Some people want to make a positive change in their community, but the question is, what should you do? Chanel Higa is a 6th grader at Iao School in Wailuku, Maui, who is working to better her community. She is the founder of the nonprofit program Flasks for Class. This program gives free hydro flasks to children who complete at least 3 hours of community service. Flasks for Class is a great way to motivate students to help out in their communities.
So what made me want to start Flasks for Class is that a lot of kids at my old school didn't have stuff that I had, and I felt bad for them. So I thought that it would be a good idea to donate something to them. So I decided to donate Hydro Flask.
For Chanel, there were multiple challenges to get Flasks for Class off the ground and started.
So the hardest part of me starting my program was that I was very shy and it was hard for me to find sponsors.
From working through hardships to start her program, Chanel also needed to find a way for students to receive a flask.
So in order to receive a hydro flask from this program, you have to get a form from the office, and you have to do 3 hours of community service, and you have to put that on top of the form. You have to turn it into the office, and they give you a hydro flask.
Chanel has developed a more confident personality. Her teachers have seen her grow into a great role model for her peers and know that she is making a positive difference in her school community.
I think it's an amazing idea that a student came up with, Chanel. I think it's great that a student has to do community service and then we reward them with a hydro flask.
And it's not just Chanel's teachers who have noticed her growth. Her mother has also seen a positive change in her.
The biggest change in her that I seen was when she did the Flask for Class. Once you start doing community service and you're giving back to your community and you're dealing with everyone who appreciates what you're doing for them, it gives her such a good feeling inside. She actually wants to do more and more and more. And you know, it would be fortunate for everybody, I mean, like all the kids, if they could have that same feeling, because it feels really good to help the next person.
No matter how old you are, you can always make a positive change. This is Kevin Martin from Iao School for HIKI Now.
Aloha! We are here on the campus of Wailuku High School located in Hilo on the east side of the Big Island of Hawaii. We decided to tell the following story about 2 Catholic Charities employees who love what they do so much they choose to bring their work home with them. Together, they welcome foster children into their home with open arms and provide them with a safe, stable environment. We felt that this story would give an insight into the positive effects of foster care and share the empowering story of 2 individuals who truly put others before themselves. Here is our story, Foster Care.
Jonathan and Danielle Mendoza are a team at home and at work.
I'm a parent consultant, and I also handle intake at Catholic Charities.
We have about 25 families, and basically I prepare them to be able to care for the youth that are in our program.
I actually get to work in the same office, in the same part of the agency with my husband, John. We have lunch together and just spend, times together. We're also in professional roles together. So that's pretty cool, and it's pretty unique.
So he's good to go tomorrow.
It's not over when we leave our work at 4:30 or 5, because many times we meet a family to pick up a youth, and we provide respite, which is giving the foster parents a break. And my wife and I have been working together for over 20 years at this agency. When you're raising someone else's kids that have gone through some trauma, it's definitely important that we're unified. A lot of these children that are in our program have gone through some severe neglect and abuse, and therefore the parents need to be trained on how to react and respond to these children that have been through some severe types of trauma.
Oh, good job. The kids are in our program for a little while, and then they return hopefully home to their families. But just watching the families actually trust us with their kids, and the kids developing trust with us too. The best remarks I get for the kids, sometimes in the morning I'll say, how'd you sleep? And she's like, the best sleep I've ever had. And that to me is a huge compliment, because that means they felt safe.
Ronnie Brockway was one of the first youths to live with the Mendozas.
I was one of those kids who acted out and threw tantrums and was belligerent. I think that being in foster care, one of the things that it taught me is it taught me to stand on my own.
Oh my gosh, look how small I am.
Oh no, you're gonna love this one. Do you remember this?
They went to the beach, they took me. They went to church, they took me. And so I think that that was something that was so positive, because they didn't really have to do that. I wasn't an outcast, I was part of their family, and that's how they made me feel.
I remember her saying, she wanted to be a judge and she wanted to be a lawyer. She's just got her master's degree and she's doing really well in the community.
They never gave up on me. Regardless if I was in their home or not, it was always Auntie Dee and Uncle John.
We're always kind of on, in a sense, to really be able to teach the youth, and always trying to teach, the skills that will help them to be able to generalize it, not only in a different home, but for their lives in the future, in the community, in school, or at a job.
Shanta, good job. She likes you.
Some people might think it's kind of crazy. You work with your spouse and be together all the time, and it could be, but it actually really works for us. There's a great need in the community, but it also is just really cool to open up your home and share your life and learn about others. And as we're teaching them things, I don't think there's a day that goes by that I haven't learned something from them. So it's kind of a win-win situation, and I hope we can do it for a long time.
This is Emily Tsuji from Waiakea High School for HIKI No.
Well, we've come to the end of this episode of HIKI No.
Remember, these stories were written, shot, and edited by students like us.
We hope you've enjoyed watching them as much as we've enjoyed sharing them with you.
Be sure to tune in next week for more proof that Hawaii students HIKI No
can do.
Broadcasts of HIKI No are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI No. Kamehameha Schools, empowering Hawaiian keiki to explore, discover, and inspire. ABC Stores, a local company helping to transform education and develop Hawaii's workforce through bold learning initiatives like HIKI No.